Hey everyone, welcome to Typeform. This is an awesome free survey software that allows you to make very cool surveys that are done awesomely. All right, so before we get started with the 5 tips, let me just offer a piece of advice when you are creating a name. Obviously, you're going to sign up by hitting the login button, and there's this nice sign up button here. I already have an account through Typeform, it is free. Maybe you should use a password that is your team name, so that way everyone can log into the survey and make changes if they have to if you guys can't meet. And I give you feedback and you got to make changes. One person go in and make those quick changes so you can send it out. The good news is that everyone will have a link to the actual results, so it'll be easy to see those results, and that'll be in your Google Doc. All right, so let's get started. I'm logging into Typeform. Your Typeform is going to look a little differently. Obviously, you're not going to have any surveys here. I'm always making surveys all the time. So essentially, you're going to hit create new survey and start from scratch, and you can type in whatever you want. I mean, I would type in the problem. So if you're working with me, you could just simply type in your problem, which is maybe acclimating students to a new way of teaching, or maybe you're working with offices. Well, it doesn't matter who you're working with, but anyway, you can put the title whatever you want. All right, so you can hit start, and I'm going to go through and give you 5 tips and show you kind of how this whole thing works. All right, so when you create it, it's going to show up just like it showed up on the screen. You can see everything you need to know is on this left-hand side. All right, so let's start with a welcome screen, okay? That's this top button right here. So this is A. In your welcome screen, you want to make sure that you let everyone know this is actually for your class, okay? So this survey is for our Com 353 class with Adam Barragato. And of course, you want to give a quick note about what it is you are looking to understand. And then finally, we have hey, if you have any questions, please email Adam at this email address. That way, if anyone is concerned or they're worried about this, they can find me. So that's your welcome screen, okay? All right, so that's A. Let's go to B. The second thing that you want to do is get some basic demographic information that helps you understand what year they're in, what gender they identify with, and their current major that they have declared, just so that we can better give information to the people we're working with. So you can see right here, the first question is, what year in college are you currently in? And they're very kind. They don't say super senior. What gender do you identify with? You can handle this any way you want. What are you majoring in? Perfect. So we got those 3 questions right there, and those are right off the top of the bat. All right, so how do you actually make those buttons? Well, there's a multiple choice question right here. And you just type the question right here. So for instance, if we're doing a multiple choice question, we can say, what year are you currently in? Or you can say, what is your current academic standing? However you want to word that is fine. And then of course you've got freshman, hit the plus sign, sophomore, hit the plus sign, junior, see I'm rapping, and senior. All right. Now, here's something that's really important, and I forgot to mention in the 5 tips. Please make sure every question is required. If you do not make a question required, guess what is going to happen? Wah, wah, wah. People don't answer the question. And then it sucks because it can be a really important question and they're not going to answer it. And you're going to be like, why didn't you answer it? It's not fair. And if you're like me, you're probably going to cry about it. All right, when you're done with your question, obviously you want to hit save, but always make sure it's required. In fact, you might want to write somewhere, hey, make sure every question is required to answer. That way people finish your entire survey. All right, so that's multiple choice. However, for questions like, hey, what's your major? You can do a short text. And in a short text question, you just ask simply, what is your current major? And basically, you want to make sure this is what? Required. And then you can hit save. And you're all set. The only thing that's missing right now is obviously what gender you identify with, and that's a multiple choice question. All right, moving right along. Let's go to C. This is an important tip. Please refrain from asking any yes or no questions. Please do not ask yes, no questions, simply because it doesn't tell us a whole lot of information, right? You could ask someone, hey, do you like this? Yes, no. Okay, that doesn't really tell us a whole lot, right? So instead, what I want you to do is just completely skip yes or no. And what do I want you to do? I want you to do rating or opinion scale. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, that's some multiple choice questions. Let's look at some rating scale. Here we go. Number 8. How much does stress affect your mental well-being? We've got these lovely different numbers here. 1 thumb means not at all. 5 means very much. And so obviously we know 3 is kind of neutral. Here's another rating question. They also have an opinion as well. So this kind of helps you kind of run the gamut in terms of how much they agree or disagree, or how much they like or dislike. So we've got the rating scale right here. And what's fun about the rating scale is you can have as many steps as you want, up to 10. and you can have the shape that you want. So since we're talking to college students, it's always fun to do a thumbs up. It's up to you, whatever you really want to do. There's a thumbs up, but it's up to you. It doesn't matter. Again, you can have as much fun as you want. Either way, make sure it's what? Required. Yay! You're getting this. You're following along. I'm so proud of you. All right, so remember, please refrain from asking yes or no questions. Use opinion scale or rating questions. All right, moving along to number D. Number D? Oh my gosh. Letter D. Let's try that again. Make sure you have a balance between rating and opinion questions as well as fill in the blank ones. So you can have long text questions. Now, the nice thing about the long text question is it allows people to fill you in on something a multiple choice question might not give you a lot of insight to, okay? Again, letter D, make sure you have a balance between the rating and opinion questions, as well as the fill in the blank questions. So give them opportunities to actually fill them in. Although it's up to you how many questions you want, and it's going to depend on the problem, I would definitely recommend that you do split how many rating questions, how many opinion questions you have, and then how many fill in the blank questions you have, or long text questions. But either way, you want to make sure that it is required and that it gives the student an opportunity to kind of express maybe why they don't use something, maybe why they don't know something exists, or maybe why they would choose a service. I mean, it's really up to you. But again, use this as an opportunity to really get inside their head, right? You don't know what they're thinking, so you want to give them opportunities to tell you what you're thinking. Okay, last but not least, letter E. If you feel the need to offer multiple choice, right, and this is kind of what I touched in already, if you feel the need to offer multiple choice, do make sure that you add an other, okay? And so what's really important about multiple choice is that, and here it is right here, is that you do want to give students an opportunity, not to think too hard, because if you ask all questions that are just fill in the blank, then they're going to get tired of it and get bored. So if you're going to give them multiple choices, for instance, make sure that there's enough of those choices, but also make sure that you have the other options so that people can kind of tell you what's going on. Going back to the stress survey, you can see here that you have, they have a bunch of different multiple choice answers here, and of course they have other. When you click on that, you can type in your answer, okay? All right, so that is all 5 of the important things to think about when using Typeform. Again, make sure that you write somewhere that every question has to be required. I wish I had a ding I could put in there every time I say that. All right, so the last thing that I want to say to you before you come up with some questions is you're probably asking yourself, okay, Adam, how do I get this survey out? Well, guess what? That is actually really simple. You go to Distribute, and it's going to ask you to share your Typeform. And your Typeform lives there. That is your link, and you're going to Control Copy it. And then I'm going to teach you in class how to send it out to all your students in your different classes. It's actually really easy, and we'll go through it in Blackboard. All right, so what you're going to do is once you start getting responses, you're going to want to go to Analyze, and you're going to want to go to Reports. And what's going to happen is once you actually start getting results, there's going to be a link right here that's going to show up that says Live General Report, and you're going to copy that and paste that into your Google Doc. If you remember in Prep 12, I showed you that link, and I took screenshots of the different graphs. This is really cool because you can look at this very quickly, and you can kind of see how people are answering the questions. Now, the problem is, unfortunately, and I'm going to talk about this in the next prep, is that those the multiple choice questions, the opinion, and the rating questions, those will all show up, right? However, if you have a long answer question, one that they actually need to fill in, a fill in the blank, you're going to actually have to look at the Excel document for that, which I'll show you how to do in the next prep. But do make sure that you are aware that you do have to go to Analyze, and you have to go to Reports, and there's going to be a link at the bottom right-hand corner once they show up. See how it says there's not enough data to generate a report yet? That's going to show up. You're going to see that link. You're going to copy it. You're going to paste it into your Google Doc where it says to paste it. And that's going to allow you to kind of keep up to date with how many people have responded. And it's going to give you just a quick summary of the responses that are opinion, multiple choice, or rating. Okay? All right. So the final thing that you have to do is start thinking about 3 questions. Now, some of you might not have had an opportunity to actually talk with the people that you're going to be working with. So why don't you instead just come up with 3 issues you think is maybe revolving around this problem that you know of right now. The biggest thing that I wanted you to do originally was just kind of come to class ready thinking about what are some of the questions that we're going to ask them, not just the demographic information, like what year you are, but maybe what questions are we going to ask to kind of get to the heart of this problem and better understand it. Remember, this is step 1, which is empathizing. We have to empathize with what's going on. Our job is to ask the right questions to make sure that our students are able to tell us about the problem as they see it, so we can better understand the problem and, of course, solve it. All right, I hope this video was helpful for you, and I will see you in class. Bye now.